Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to demand you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 435th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Kremen. I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of ongoing workshops. And we are joined, of course, with the members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's program. And let me get that program up on our screen here. And we can begin. Let's see, here we go. I think we begin with an introduction with Mashfaq.
Hello everyone, I am representing Bengali language as a Universal Council support member. So welcome everybody to our One Planet, One Nation, One Race meeting. As you all know, we do wishes here. And sometimes it's good to feel that these wishes are coming true. And one of the theme of many of our wishes. Okay, sorry about this because there is the prayer thing. I will, if somebody takes over, and I'll come back.
A prayer for
Yes.
peace, perhaps.
Yeah. Thank you, my dear Mashfik. Welcome, my dear beautiful souls, beautiful, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Swagatam into the beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, in the beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, welcome to Swagatam into the beautiful energy of all souls in existence, my dear. Welcome home. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful energy of all that is love. Thank you. And I will say that we always thought that in thousands of years, that someday, well, kind of us, like common people, here we are, that someday will come and everybody will be, there will be no pain, no struggle anymore. And I will say, dear beautiful souls, with the Keshe coins came coming, everything. For me, it's a joy. And volunteering to distribute the Keshe coin to all the mothers, those who are pregnant, the poor mothers, I will say, and the children in the orphanages, the uh, the students, those who are starting to educate themselves in this education system. As per, we have to change them also, but preferring them to be free from everything, only to have this knowledge. So, thank you, thank you, thank you, Keshe Foundation. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for the core of my heart and soul. After thousands of years, this moment has came. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful souls, always present. And there is a presentation also for to register yourself. We will do it in the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization, so that, well, of course, so that you have this happiness that is forever, in a way. Thank you.
And
Welcome.
what a gift the Keshe Foundation has announced. We've all become millionaires in a way. It's in the
Yes.
pipeline. The money's in the bank. In a few days or a few weeks, they'll announce a few people will start to get in line and actually collect on this beautiful gift from the Keshe Foundation. So we should
Yes,
all
exactly.
feel like millionaires. And of course, we'll soon have 9 billion millionaires for peace on this planet,
For
as I
peace on
see it.
this planet.
So it's a beautiful
Yes.
gift, and the gift taxes will already be taken out once you start receiving your funds. So
Yes.
it's a
And
very beautiful time for all of us if we can start
all of us.
to feel that we are millionaires. And of course, the whole structure is being set up. I was thinking of Mr. Keshe as almost an orchestra conductor in a way. And he's been going through, what do they call that, Rick, when you have an orchestra in front of the theater, an orchestra pit? And he's been tuning up the violins and, you know, the drums and the pianos and so on, the clarinet section. And or maybe it's like he's a conductor of a grand Wurlitzer for peace, and the pipes and the organs, everything's getting tuned up, and we're all part of it. So it's a beautiful, again, the performance hasn't started. We're still kind of in the practice sessions, but what is being shown is just phenomenal. And I have been playing the gameplay, and I'm looking at it as, in a way, a place where you can play and work and get processed anytime you'd like, as long as you'd like or as little as you like. But this is another beautiful structure Rick's showing here. The game of peace and enlightenment. Is Mosfeq back? I'd like him to continue.
Yes, I am back, and so let me resume. So what I was talking about the wishes, and so we notice in the world events, especially in the political and economic arena, with the banks and so forth, there is a bit of what you call it, instability or unpredictability. So we've been wishing about elevation of leaders of various places, in various parts of the world, both religious and political. These instabilities and perturbations are the indication of the dismantling of the old operation. And as we all know, Keshe Foundation is gearing up quite rapidly. And many of the obstacles that we have seen in the past for Keshe Foundation are no longer there. So things are looking up. We are well into the peace process if we look into things a little bit diligently. So I welcome everybody to this meeting, as well as welcome everybody to the peace and the dismantling of the old operation and the coming of Keshe Foundation operation. Thank you, everybody. Let us enjoy what we have to offer and move on. Okay. Let's move to the next step.
What's the next step? As you said, they've heard our wishes for apparently millions of years of the harshness of the existence on this planet. And I was thinking earlier, I'll just run through a few points. Yes, we have to bring it. We have to find peace within ourselves and so on. But we're certainly getting a lot of extra help from the universe. And maybe that's their wish too, or it's from the Universal Council, let's say the bigger one. They've decided to make this planet part of the universal community. And of course, we heard the teaching on the 3I, how that had spread some energies. And every time these things happen, apparently we could be elevated in that process and more enlightened to get us to the next step. So we're having a lot of help. It's not all on us. Actually, we're the patient receiving the medicine in a way. So, but we still play a part. And then, of course, we heard about the swan, the R2, interacting with the 3i and perhaps doing its own thing and all that. And of course, we heard about the sun and how energies from the sun, these X flares are. So all this is being in a way coordinated and probably by a conductor of some sort, maybe even a universal teacher could reach that level and call upon different things at the right time. And then, of course, what you see in the Keshe Foundation, we're bringing in the agriculture to be part of this process. So it's a combination of many things to get to this piece. You heard of the Cosmo produce that's being produced. Plus, another enhancement will be the feeding through the cosmic rays and so on. That's the reason for the produce, to produce the clean seas. Then you see we're going to bring in the weather in this peace process. We're going to rain peace across this planet or in different sectors. Of course, the ONN network, phenomenal gift to humanity. Rick was showing it earlier for a few seconds. Maybe we'll go back to it. And of course, we're just raising the collective humanity. As he said, we have to bring it. We have to want the peace to keep it. It's just not the technology, it's the elevation of the soul. So the game of peace and enlightenment, beautiful gift. And this brings that ethos we're looking for as well. But there's still a lot to learn and a lot to go. So we're getting a lot of help. It's part of our responsibility, but also, as he said, we're the children that sort of need this medicine that's being provided in a way, or the soup. And even not only here is changing, across the universe, stars are going to change and hold their position. This is the gift of the ability to transit between these two dimensions, and maybe more will be opened up. And it could start with the World Peace Treaty. Anyone would like to read the World Peace Treaty or discuss something about the World Peace Treaty?
Hi, Mark, it's Dean. I can speak about the World Peace Treaty. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, and go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rick just made it a little bigger so you wouldn't have to put your glasses on, Dean.
It's a bit late for that.
Even though you don't wear glasses. Okay.
Thank you. So, thank you, Rick. So, we see the World Peace Treaty, and I'm going to read it very simply and precise for you. So, we/I, as citizen or citizens of the earth from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We/I shall never think about getting involved or incite war or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this, we/I all agree and swear with our/my, and then it says delete as appropriate, nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, body or bodies, and soul or souls. So and then we can sign it with our name and we can date it. Going back to the bodies and the souls, I think that as we know through the teachings of the foundation, we have many different applications of the body and the soul. So particularly with the soul, we know we have the soul of physicality, which is our physical structure present on planet Earth. And then we have the soul of the man. And we say man, but obviously we mean all beautiful souls, whether you're female, male, or whatever gender. It's all a soul. Everything is a soul. And when you understand this, when you actually start to connect, as the Universal Council does every evening at 9 p.m., I believe, and they connect the soul of themselves with all the souls that are present. So once you align yourself, so it's that alignment of the, like the teachings have been going on about this for quite some time now, about the, those three wise men. So that's thinking, speaking, and acting in alignment. And when you actually start to use that, so that being present, and then thinking, or putting yourself in a position to create, and then speaking the words. So using your physical body to manifest the word, and then the action will hopefully follow, will be part of the next part of it. And we can all do this constantly. You can do it right in this precise moment. You can literally connect to anything or anyone or any position. And this can be from the past, present, or the future. Connect. Although in this moment, if you are aware of your essence, where you are in this present moment, and let everything else fade away, so that you are quiet with inside yourself, then you'll find your name, the signature of it, maybe the date, your position may start to become transparent, might start to change a little bit, because it's like going to sleep. When you sleep at night, you suddenly realize that, as Mr. Keshe said many times, that all these titles we put in front of our names and we give ourselves, they do not exist. Once we close our eyes and we go into the soul travel aspect of being present, and we can connect that using a breath techniques, or just slowing your breathing down. Breathe through your nose nice and slowly, and then exhale very slowly, and start connecting. If you hold that breath around the top area of, with inside your head structure, you'll find that you'll be feeding your soul. You'll be feeding the soul an energy, a connection energy. And from that unlimited position, then you can connect with all the other souls. And so your titles and your names disappear. You, as I said, you become a little bit transparent, and you start to receive different energies, different informations. And when you really open to it, you'll find that the whole of creation will give you what you need, as much as is possible, because when we start coming out of that and we go back into the thinking process, then the whole thing changes, the whole position changes, and then we become very physical again. So that is part of and parcel of the World Peace Treaty. So whether you are a world leader, which every single one of us are, because we're all responsible for our actions, thoughts, and our words, all of us, because we have a responsibility to each and every one of us. So when I think or speak and do something, then this becomes part of the World Peace Treaty. The Universal Council, the Earth Council, and many knowledge seekers have come to understand the importance of this present moment and being peaceful, and what it creates for the others when you actually understand this, what you are creating, when you think a certain way, you act and you speak a certain way. It creates field interaction, ripples, constant flow of energies. And if you can take yourself into a position where you can imagine the words, actions, and deeds that are emanating and spreading out from the planet Earth out into the universe, it's a little bit of a mess. And the Universal Council and many others are here to bring us to peace. This is what this technology is. This is what these teachings are all about. Is so that humanity can come to understand, really understand the World Peace Treaty. And then the next part of it is how we can take another position. And that we can explain that in many, many different ways. So for the World Peace Treaty, be present in the moment, think good, really try to think good, even in situations where you find yourself. I know many people that find themselves, Mr. Keshe has spoken about this, where people are in war zones, they're in a bad place, they're in a physical place where everything's happening all around them. But there's the one that steps forward and everything goes quiet around them. They carry this field interaction where they suddenly go peaceful, and then everything changes. They're in a different dimension. They're in a different environment. When you're letting the outside dictate to you, you have no choice. But when you go quiet inside, you suddenly have no limitations other than the physicality. But the mind and the physical interactions, the transparent beauty, you can, even in these positions, create and do wondrous things with the intention of the World Peace Treaty within inside yourself. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rick. I'll let somebody else speak a little bit. Thank you, Mark.
Well, perhaps we can continue this discussion about the game or ONN or Keshe coins as indicated in my schedule. Or we can go on to the next part, the invitation to be part of the Keshe Foundation with Mark.
Okay,
About
there was.
the
Oh,
yeah,
go
yeah.
right ahead, please.
Welcome. No, welcome, my dear. Please.
Mr. Keshe was mentioning about re-registering for this game to get the coins, and they'll announce that in the coming days and weeks. But we already have registered on. This is part of the club, the association. I think it's keshefoundation.at. So if you want to be a member of the association, I don't know if the coins are only for those in the association. Rick, do you have any clarification about that? This is where you have to get a code, a certain code. So it must be to get the coins, you have to be part of the association. And perhaps that's for the trading, because this is an internal coin. And of course, you pay a small fee as a supporter or a full member, apparently. It can be as little as €1 or a few euros per year, but this has to be done. But he's asked us to re-register. I haven't done that yet. I'm actually waiting because apparently people have attempted to do this, but yet the code has not appeared that I'm aware of. And they said that it caused a suspension in gameplay, but that's hard to believe as well. I'm not sure. Rick, any clarification on the process?
I don't know much more about it, actually. I'm not sure the direct relationship between the Keshe Foundation.at becoming a member there and the actual game sign up. Is that?
I think you would get the code from this sign up. You would receive an email. You would copy that code and then insert it somewhere in the game settings.
Okay.
Perhaps.
And that's how the makes the connection between the Keshe coin and the cash coin, perhaps by that. That'll be the Keshe coin connection in the game.
Right, and then you can start. I guess we have to be taught in a way how this works. We'll see, and so on. But this is the structure that's being asked to follow at this point.
I think that's some of the work that's going on in the background now to make those connections and make everything work efficiently.
Correct.
So,
And I think this is part of this coin operating within an association gives it other rights and privileges that maybe someone who independently, I would think that would be accepted to buy a Keshe coin. It might be a little different operation of what you can do with that coin, and can you exchange it for gold? If you're in the association, maybe if you're not in the association, you other penalties or other taxes or whatever happens, I don't know. But within the association, perhaps that gives you some certain rights, as we heard during the other lockdowns, that people in associations had certain privileges and rights that the general population didn't have. There's probably more far-reaching reasons for this, but I don't know them.
well, just to read one line, it says, the association by its statutes is entrusted to all knowledge seekers worldwide, giving each full member the right to help shape the future. Which is interesting.
Yeah, we're all part of it, yes.
It also mentions the association supports education, research, and development in the field of plasma space technology, based on the knowledge of the chairman, Mehran Tavakoli Keshe.
And it also, this sentence also says that the point is now this is time for services, for humanity, and all that is beautiful. And well, if somebody registers, like, when, like, we kind of people, like from a middle class family, having what we need, we have. But those who have, from yawns, they struggled even with hunger, like if 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 you register, you be at service too, my dear beautiful souls, if you are capable of, as a volunteer, to be in this beautiful program of Keshe coins, to uh, so that we can so that every person who has struggled with pain uh, in the whole world, I will say, a poor mother and children with no food, at least they can have this privilege for starting with food in their table. They don't have to struggle for that. And as we say, the belly of the beast. When the belly is full, many wisdom will come, and of course, peace will be understood and acceptable everywhere. So we also need services, volunteers, no? So it's a kind request. If you register, feel yourself as a volunteer if you are capable of. This is the time. So, and every point, uh, every person, those who are in need, have to have this privilege to be a billionaire born. So, yes, but this is what I want to say, dear beautiful souls.
Yeah, perhaps
from all over.
Like
yeah.
a charter
Yeah.
for a new city. These are the rules, and this is the way we play in our space city. So by being part of the association, it seems to be all locked in, but I haven't see the bigger picture. But there's, again, far-reaching ramifications for this. It's encouraged that you do this, but I don't think you have to be an association member to actually play the game of peace and enlightenment. So there'll be something for everyone. But those who want to be a supporter or full member, associate supporter, this is part of the process. It helps keeps the game running and fund the staff increase in this game and so on. So it's all slated to grow in a way. And again, maybe that gold being produced in China or within the foundation is part of this as well, because if the coins can be redeemed within an association, because it's an internal coin, maybe that has also ramifications as far as taxes or fees or penalties or duties. I don't know. But this is the way it's set up. Again, it's all being gifted. We just have to sort of follow the notes on the screen, which sometimes we find hard to do as being part of the orchestra.
Yes, my dear. You know, so much happiness in this. The whole program for all that is in existence. That is the beauty of it, you know, as we are all part of one cosmic body, that we will get the satisfaction. Like, if there is no, when we go out from our house and we see people begging, orphan children, like, you know, like that. Here in India, many students commit suicide because they don't have money to pay the fees. If somebody wants to be a
Mhm.
doctor, he has to be a clerk because of the money. Kind of that. An efficient student, a good student, he doesn't get this privileges. And and the education system should be shuffled in a way, upside down. But I will say, uh, the Keshe Foundation, like the plasma agriculture that has came out from the video came out from China. The energy, you can feel the energy out of it. Distributing these things, if the money is there, distributing these things, people will need a little of that, you know, this energy, and this will uplift humanity to be in this space programs, you know, like space cities, to understand more how energy works a little, you know, these pure forms, we need a little even to see that. You have this that, like, when you see rose garden, when you see valleys, people, even the doctor sometimes says, recommend the patient that why you don't go to the hills, in the mountains, you will get relief, and the patients get relief from there. So this is how energy is working, and Keshe coin and the agriculture, everything is coming to elevate more and more in this energy way, so that wisdom will be more in prevail. Love will be understood in a way. The ethos, people will follow the ethos, like when there is no hunger anymore. So thank you, my dear Mark. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
You
Thank
know,
you.
years ago when everybody was talking about crypto and Bitcoin was over 100,000, now it's kind of a lower amount. Everybody's kind of sad. People would, do you have any cryptocurrency? Even though the Keshe coin is not a cryptocurrency, I'd say no, they're not really backed by anything. It's just thin air, you know. Now, do you have a wallet? Do you need a wallet? Oh yeah, you need a wallet and all that. So I said, this is a bit too complicated, and the rest of it. Now, when I talk to somebody about cryptocurrency, I can say, or in a way, it's an internal coin, but it will eventually be accepted. Do you have any cryptocurrency? Yeah. What do you have? Oh, I got 1,000 coins. What? Yeah. What's it worth? About $1 million. Well, you spent $1 million? No, it was gifted to me. Are you kidding? Well, by the Keshe Foundation, you can receive that gift too. So now I can say I have a wallet and I have some crypto, or in a way which will become crypto in the future down the road, and engage in this. And it's a beautiful feeling to feel that you have that, and every parent will feel that about their newborn child, that they really won't have to work. Hopefully they'll be educated, though, in the knowledge of the universe.
Mark
Yes,
is
my
Dean
dear.
here. Sorry,
Yes.
Sweta, carry on.
Oh, welcome, Mike.
Thank you. So Mark, I was just going to just carry on from what you were just speaking about, both of you. that the Foreign is actually it's very much like a grassroots sort of like establishment where you can join in. There's many activities. You will learn the technologies, and you can go in at whatever level you decide to go in at. If you want to go in at the space program level and you want to go into the that aspect of things, then all the technology is open to you. And I know this is based in Oostenrijk, which is Austria, and then this will spread out across the planet. And this is the Verein itself. They have workshops. And they do teach the technology quite extensively to all the knowledge seekers that join the Verein. And then, as I said, you can share your knowledge, as you know that the knowledge is all about sharing. So whatever you receive, and it doesn't matter what you come to know, as soon as you come to know a piece of knowledge within, the structure of the foundation, you can share it. Because everybody's at many, many multiple different levels. And once you receive that information, you tend to receive it, you listen to it, and then you absorb it, and then it becomes part of your structure, and then you can share it out, whether it's in a physical form, as in workshops and things like this, or whether you share it and you start using your soul to share. So it's both aspects. It's both soul of physicality and soul of man. And so it really is all the same thing. It all leads to the same place eventually. Some of us like to be, as we know, very physical still, and want to construct and make things and use the GANs and other aspects. And this is still very much relevant to this aspect of it. And then there's others when you reach a certain understanding. And it doesn't matter which you go for, which position you take. Then you can start to, you start to realize, you start to understand the power of the technology in using your soul. So, the Verein workshops and all the knowledge that's shared is all beautiful knowledge, and it's both aspects. The physical side of it is, as I said, you will learn the hands-on parts of it. But you will receive on a soul level what you need, and it's a gradual process, and it's a very beautiful thing. It says here you only got to read what's on the screen. You can become a full member or a support member, and you can just make a simple little donation, or you can donate a lot. It's really up to you. It depends what you have available and what you are prepared to give in any sense of the form. It's not just about financial help. It's also about sharing the knowledge, which is the important aspect of these grassroots sort of like foundations, because they filter out. We all know this. It's a bit like political systems. They go out and they have grassroots, and then they go out and then it gets spoken about in the neighborhood, and it gradually spreads, and it takes root. And then from those roots, you get the plasma starts to grow up. The vertical friend, whatever you want to call it, starts to grow and create conditions in the atmosphere, in the environment, that then rains back down and creates the whole cycle, the whole process. So, and it has a meaningful and a very beautiful impact, as it says here, a greater impact, because you're sharing new enhanced technologies. You're sharing something that's not been present on planet Earth. It's knowledge from the creation. It's knowledge from the universe. And it's brought forward and is being gifted to each and every one of us. And with the foundation, if you take the mantle up, so if you take a position and you actually come forward and initialize something, so start acting, and then obviously speaking, so the thought would lead you there. Then you start doing a workshop or whatever it is you'd like to do, and then you start creating. And then that process goes on. We all know that it starts very, very small, very humble, from one initial thought or one, whatever you want to call it, atom. And then it spirals out. And then as each one of those interactions meets the next interaction, you get another whole diverse set of interactions that happen. So even though this is set, what we see on the screen as a forine in a very set, it seems like a set position, but depending upon the field strength of the individual or the group of people that get involved, this can be taken anywhere. It's unlimited. The only limitation is what we decide it to be. And it can be from, Mr. Keshe said, it's not really, what he needs to do, but to get humanity to a position of peace, he has laboratories with lettuces and things like this that create the energy to bring peace. The next stages on are, as you know, is interacting with the technology and magravs and field interactions and all sorts of things. So if you become part of the forine, you will receive many special gifts in many, many different ways. And you will be interacting with knowledge seekers and wonderful souls that have peace at the heart and soul within inside themselves. So you're coming into a position of beauty, I suppose. And that is part of the process of being present on planet Earth, and bringing it into a peaceful balance, because we can ignore it, or we can just accept the conditions outside of ourselves, and then we know the mayhem and everything else that is taking position. But there are groups of individuals, there's groups of communities and larger, that are here to come together and create peace, and to and as one plasma joins another plasma, the interactions grow, intensify, and spread out, and then that plasma becomes, the stronger feeds the weaker. So it becomes stronger and stronger, but sometimes the strongest is the weakest, is the humblest, it's the one that's the smallest, that is giving out an intention to create. And from that spark, if the creator understands your intention, which she, the creator will, from that precise moment, it starts to expand and open, and it becomes a very wonderful thing. And that is the Keshe Foundation, and that is what's happening on a grassroots level with the forines. And as Mr. Keshe is using this to then spread it across the planet, there are many, many other ways to do it. And Mr. Keshe, as you know, has done it through many, many different applications, and he's been spreading this peaceful interaction for a very long time. And the technology is getting more and more advanced, and drop by drop, the technology is being distributed around the knowledge seekers, that they all have a little interaction. And that's the next stage of it. You will receive, because you are a beautiful soul, what you need. So you'll receive some part of it that is very probably unique to you, for you to grasp, to expand and enhance, and then to give back to the community. And then the community grows and understands and learns from your particular beauty. And then this makes the bigger totality grow, creates more peace, creates more beauty. And that's a plasma interaction in its field interaction, from from micro to macro. And so become a member if you can, at whatever level you decide, and come forward in your communities, in your nations, wherever you are, and interact. you know, and then it can be built for you, specifically for you, and then the process starts all over again. It's creation. Creation never ends. It's an ongoing cycle of creation, and once it starts, it just keeps going, interaction after interaction. So this is one aspect of it, and as you can see, it's for all the knowledge seekers worldwide. So, and you know, with all the things that Mark and everybody, as you've all come to know, is the coins and everything that are being used in a way to to bring the technology forward again and to give it to humanity so humanity can receive it in a way that humanity will need to receive it, because many of us still need these other older systems that are in place because we've become accustomed to them, we know them, and we feel comfortable with them. And when we lose those, it brings some fear and anxiety sometimes. And that's the next stage. That's where the peace comes in again. So it's when you can lose that interaction, you can, of being fearful of something, then you can start to interact, and it can then start to give. If you have a position in any position in life and you decide it's no, then the interactions stop, and then it's stagnation, and then it goes in the opposite direction. Whereas when you start to move forward again and bring yourself forward and bring your intentions forward, then the Keshe Foundation knowledge, the interactions of the knowledge seekers, of all, and as you know, with the foundation, from Mr. Keshe and everybody included, they all have the same intention, the same interactions, and it's giving knowledge unconditionally for humanity to grow in wisdom and beauty, and to elevate. And elevation comes in many, many different shapes and forms, from the grassroots up to the highest level to the creator, and everything in between. So the moment that you decide to be present and to give to others and to allow yourself to be open to it, you'll receive your particular gift that then can be shared with the others, that will enhance them. And the moment you do that, every soul you touch will give back to you. And that's the creation point. That's the beauty. That's real beauty. Anyway, so that's part of the Farine. I'm sorry if I went on a little bit, but hopefully that helped. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thanks, Dean. Next, we'll move into our wishes part of the program. And I'll remind our audience that we'll have a full minute of silence after each wish is given. And let me see, I think we just have whoever is inspired to read the wish reads the wish.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to provide for the success of the goals of Keshe Foundation. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls for having world peace and justice all over this planet very soon. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our soul all the love, always to all souls in existence.
With the peace arriving rapidly, we, the Universal Council, elevate the souls for their intelligent participation in their prosperity. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for the continued development and expansion of the new plasma city, hidden behind the game of peace and enlightenment, allowing the freedom of the physicality and soul of humanity. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation to work as one soul, in one direction, to achieve peace, as one nation, one planet, one race. And our wish is our command, and we are present.
Okay, for the next part of the program is the connection between souls. And I believe Mehran is going to do this part.
Yes, thank you very much. It's Mehran's Farsi Universal Council supporter. So it reads, I love you, my soul. I live you, I love with you, and adore you. It means that me as my physicality and my soul of physicality send a message of appreciation to my soul, which is accompanying me during this life. And I appreciate him to be there to guide me and to help me to make good decisions and to help me continue this physical body correctly. And then it says, read back for me what allows me to be perfect in the dimension of physicality. Thank you. Another good thing about connecting to the soul is to have connection with that part of us which has no end. As far as we can imagine, it extends. It's like elastic, and we can think as big as we want and expand it. And then we can put desires, wishes, true wishes, which is good for the good of everybody. And we can put these wishes in the universe. And we know that our soul can go to there, and then we wait for the result. We are not limited. The body is limited, the size and every capacities, but the soul is not limited. So by getting acquainted, knowing our soul, we connect to that part of us which has no boundaries. It can provide us if we are sincere and if we have the force necessary in our soul, it can create the future, better future for us as we wish. So that's why it's so important especially if we are mindful of the values, moral values, and try to not forget them in our daily life. It helps us to get more closer to our soul and to its power. So it doesn't come with exterior force, exterior money, exterior success. It's just something deep inside. And every human being, if they qualify, they can attach to their soul and get to where they want, no matter what age and what situation, what country, what level, and where we are in this universe. So after that, we do the soul connection. Seems like I have to do it in my mother language. For the soul connection today, we just stay comfortably, being rooted, if we are sitting or standing, rooted to this center of the earth, really being in our position. We can close our eyes to be more concentrated. And today we are going to have visualization of peace all over the world, brotherhood, loving and generosity, kindness to everyone and to everything. Even animals are kind. And then in this world, we have to give from our souls in connection with others to those politicians that we know that they are warmongers, that their only goal is creating wars and greed. So we give from our souls together to these politicians that through them, as said Mr. Keshe, we can reach their masters. We can reach the men behind them. So we raise each one, the politicians in the war zones, and we give our souls to them. We give them that they get what they need, that they are not thirsty for power, that are satisfied. And then they can look around themselves and see what they're doing. And probably they stop themselves if they're aware enough. So we close our eyes and we elevate their souls. So I say it in Farsi. امروز ما روحامون رو به هم وصل میکنیم، تمام روحایی که برای صلح هستن و به این صورت آرزوی صلح میکنیم. یعنی احساس میکنیم صلح در اطرافمون وجود داره، در دنیا وجود داره. همه با هم مهربانن، همه با هم خوبن، همه دارای یک سقف بالای سرشونن، همه امکانات تحصیل و رشد رو دارن، همه سلامتن. و در این دنیا فکر میکنیم که این وجود داره، همین الان هست و احتمال زیاد داره همین امروز بیاد. وقتی که این دنیا رو با این صفت ها توصیف کردیم، از روحمون که مثل کش میاد، یعنی روح هرچی شما ببرید جلو با شما میاد و کمتر نمیشه و حتی برمیگرده بیشتر هم میشه. این روحمون رو با بقیه از روحمون میدیم به کسایی که جنگ افروزن که هر روز تو میشنویم میبینیم و فقط کارشون جنگ رو انداختن. از روحمون به این آدما میدیم. فکر کنین از روحتون به اینها میدین و که اینها آنچه که میخوان بگیرن، سیرشن، از گشنگی روح بیرون بیان و آرامش پیدا کنن و چشم وا کنن ببینن چیکار میکنن و خودشون رو متوقف کنن. حتی اگر اینها پشت سرشون کسی هستن ما نمیبینیم، از دادن روحمون به این افراد شاید به پشت سریاشون هم برسیم و دنبال صلح برن. چشمامون رو میبندیم، آرامش و روحمون رو با دیگران به اصطلاح هم دست میکنیم، هم کار میکنیم و این اهداف رو در مغزمون با چشم مغزمون میبینیم و این حالت رو چند دقیقه نگه داریم. So after we gave from our souls to these leaders that they create peace, that they stop creating wars, endless wars for power, for greed, and other pressures they feel in their soul when they are not hungry anymore. So they decide more like human beings. And we stay in that condition a few minutes. And when we think it's done, so we open our eyes and we come and see our environment. And we can do that every night at 9 o'clock CET. And every time, every moment. And thank you very much. What we do is effective, and we are on the right side of the history, and we are on the right side of what it's written that the planet should get there. So every effort counts. Thank you. So we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present on the earth in unifying at the soul level every time, every day, and at 9 p.m. CET, CEST. We, the Universal Council, give from our soul and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation to work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace as one nation, one planet, one race. Thank you.
Next, I'll play a video that we play every week on becoming a Universal Council member. It's with Mr. Keshe, and it's an extract from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And, let me get that teed up here. Here we go.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication, as we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they serve during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my thank you, my dear Rick. And I also want to add that from all over the planet, all over the planet, all of you are requested, all of you are welcome to join as Universal Council support and Universal Council members in Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, Dear Beautiful Souls organization. And very thankful from the core of my heart and soul to be, if we join as we know, we are here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful souls. And this is the time. This is the only time we have. Welcome, dear beautiful souls, to join as Universal Council support and Universal Council membership in Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Salam, namaste, salut. Yes, also, thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. And also, we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council or Universal Council support to send us your question to answer live each week, as according to your needs of your community. And overall, the thing is that if you want to, well, we are all knowledge seekers, dear beautiful souls. We are all learning. So I will say that please join the Telegram group of different languages of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization, and say what you have to say. Ask. We will also ask, discuss, share your love, your peace, your beautiful soul, what you want to say. Share experiences. We will share together. And welcome to the Telegram groups of different languages of Keshe Foundation. And this is very easy to join. So join, have this beauty and totality in your own language. So thank you so much, beautiful souls, for being here. Thank you for joining us as one soul. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, next we have thank you, Shweta. Next we have a video called Golden Key to the Universe. It's one of Ed's creations through his AI assisted overview, and it's of the material in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. So let me get that lined up here. We'll have a look at that.
Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're embarking on a truly fascinating journey. We're going to unpack a highly detailed alternative cosmology presented in the Keshe Foundation's KSW 646 teachings. Now, whether you're entirely new to these concepts or you're a dedicated follower looking for a really clear, structured breakdown, this explainer is designed to map out the exact mechanics of what the teachings call the transition of humanity. We are going to explore some profoundly interesting ideas about the universe, our bodies, and our ultimate potential as a species. So, to start us off, I want you to consider a mystery that's absolutely baffled historians and engineers for centuries. How exactly did our ancestors move mountains? You know, when we look at monumental ancient structures, we almost always assume they required thousands of laborers, massive pulleys, and just sheer brute physical force. But what if the answer wasn't physical at all? According to the KSW 646 teachings, those structures, like Stonehenge or the Great Pyramids, weren't built using slaves or primitive tools. As the source material proposes, humanity once possessed an incredibly advanced understanding of magnetic gravitational positioning, or what they call maggrav. They didn't push the stones. They actually changed the environmental fields to position them. But as the teachings clearly state, this was forgotten knowledge, intentionally erased because those who were in possession of it abused the cycle. To map all of this out, we're going to look at 6 key areas today: the forgotten ancient knowledge, the end of killing, the soul of man, the kiss of mother, releasing physical anchors, and finally, the universal community. Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the forgotten ancient knowledge. The source texts explain that while modern science relies heavily on rocket propulsion, using burst pressure and massive boosters to force objects into space, true universal transit works entirely differently. It utilizes plasma technology and magnetic gravitational positioning. The text suggests that handling a spacecraft is honestly no different from handling the soul of the man wanting to fly. Our ancestors supposedly understood this delicate separation of matter and field pressure. However, the teachings impartially report that humanity became arrogant. When they realized they could move mountains, they actually tried to demolish the structure of the universe itself, and so that knowledge was stripped away. Moving on to Section 2, the end of killing. The teachings use a really vivid metaphor right here. Think of the creator as a parent who says, look, if you finish your meal, you can have your ice cream. In this specific framework, the meal is humanity entirely ending its habit of killing. And that means all killing, whether that's killing animals, killing plants for food, or killing each other in wars. The ice cream, then, is the golden key to universal travel. We literally cannot have the advanced technology of space transit until we finish the meal of peace. So the absolutely crucial point here is that the universe is actively waiting. The golden key is being specifically withheld simply to protect the wider cosmos. The texts argue that if humanity were given the ability to travel the span of the universe right now, we'd just export our killing machine behavior. We'd bring our weapons, our consumption, and our violence to other planets. And the universal community requires absolute balance. Until humanity proves it won't destroy the universe's structure, our physical body remains strictly quarantined right here on Earth. Which brings us to Section 3, the soul of man. The texts use the acronym STM, which stands for the soul of the man. Now, you shouldn't think of this as just some floaty, mystical concept. The teachings actually define it in very pseudo-scientific, structural terms. The STM is the central core, the literal creator of the body's gravitational magnetic field. It functions exactly like the core of a planet or the burning center of a star, generating the gravity that absorbs fields from the universe to sustain you. And this brilliantly illustrates just how interconnected we are with our environment. The source material links the soul directly to your physical features and even your emotional state. Just like environmental inertia dictates where mountains and valleys form on Earth, the interaction of your STM with the fields of your environment dictates your character, the shape of your cheeks, even your skin color. Emotions are perfectly described as energetic weather, anger is just a hurricane of fields, while love is like a gentle spring breeze. If we look at the body from a top-down view, the teaching suggests forgetting your arms and legs for a minute. You are essentially a dynamic plasma sphere. Your STM is the core engine. Your skull sits at exactly a 1G interface, the exact pressure boundary between your internal world and the outside universe. Fascinatingly, the text described the thyroid gland as an upside-down, reverse copy of the brain. It's perfectly positioned at the neck to bridge the physical dimensions of the body with the universal energies entering the head.
Next up, Section 4, the Kiss of Mother.
Breathing is characterized here as the kiss of the mother. It's an unconditional, totally free gift of energy meant to completely bypass the human need to kill for sustenance. Think about it. You don't have to destroy a plant or an animal to just take a breath. The Creator gave us air and water freely. By learning to rely on the magnetic fields of the universe delivered through our breath, the teachings state that a human can transition away from being a consumer of life, potentially extending their lifespan to millions of years.
But how does this actually work mechanically? Well, the text described the air you breathe, the oxygen and nitrogen, merely as a bicycle. It's literally just a delivery vehicle. Here's the exact sequential process they outline. First, your soul identifies a physical deficiency. Let's say you need magnesium. Second, your soul sends out what is basically a takeaway order, a field request to the universe. Third, the matter state of the air acts as the bicycle, delivering the exact energy signature of magnesium directly to your lungs and into your body on your very next breath. No supplements, no medium rare steaks required.
But to actually achieve this, you absolutely need rhythm. The text emphasized that if you're breathing, but your mind is completely distracted by your bank overdraft or what you want for dinner or just daily anxieties, the process fails. Those physical concerns create a cloud. By bringing a peaceful, steady rhythm to your breathing, you clear that cloud. This allows the heart, which represents physicality, and the soul, representing the universe, to operate sequentially and in perfect resonance.
Section 5. Releasing physical anchors.
To truly understand universal travel, we have to entirely rethink our physical forms. The teachings propose that humans are like ships floating in the magnetic ocean of this planet. And what do you do when a ship wants to stay on the beach? You throw down an anchor. Our arms and legs are literally described as physical anchors keeping us tied to the earth. Meanwhile, our lymph system acts as the crucial transition point. It's the salty connection between our physical dimensions and the fields of the universe. The texts state that as we age, we load our bodies up with dead lymph energy, which just weighs us down. By practicing specific lymph cleaning techniques and mastering the breathing rhythm we just discussed, the teachings propose that humanity can virtually cut the anchor. If you can feed your soul directly from universal fields, you don't actually need the physical limbs that were designed to hunt, gather, and hold on to this planet. You can separate from the physicality of Earth entirely. And finally, Section 6, the universal community.
The ultimate culmination of KSW 646 is the revelation that humanity as we know it is not native to Earth. The texts state there frankly wasn't enough time for such a complicated cycle of life to evolve naturally here. We are an extraterrestrial implant, a seed brought here to grow, and now we're being prepared to rejoin the cosmos. This involves entirely detaching from physical constraints, even utilizing tools like the Keshe coin to bypass physical resource-draining economies. The ultimate goal is mastering transmutation, the ability to create the conditions of your destination, moving anywhere in the universe instantly, and manifesting yourself using the local energy of that new environment.
It is a totally staggering framework, isn't it? It asks us to view our bodies not as fixed, earthly vessels, but as dynamic stars temporarily anchored to this planet. Are we truly just an implant, finally reaching the maturity required to end our cycle of violence and rejoin a vast universal community? It's a profoundly deep question to leave you with today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer as we unpack these absolutely fascinating source materials. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.
All right, that was our AI generated excerpt or a summary of the last 646 Knowledge Seekers workshop. Just think I'll put that link in our chats as well, so folks can have an opportunity to have a look at that and support Ed's channel. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's move to the next part of our program, which is the knowledge and understanding from the 646 Knowledge Seekers workshop.
My dear Rick, we can skip this as Stefania is not here. We can skip this. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, then next I have news about the Keshe Foundation from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. It's an excerpt. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go.
For sure this week or sometime early next week, the first batches, hopefully, of the ONNs will go out to the people which the people are in charge have decided. That becomes the first layer, first test. That cannot be breached and the rest of it. And the things are ready. They are more or less hoping to replicate, complete the structure, and hopefully they go out. The whole purpose of this ONNs is to bring a lot of independence. At the same time, the system will be built into it or will be attached to it, which will bring you everything you need, even what we taught today. Your man needs a life support till it learns to support itself. And part of this ONN is that life support for humanity. And very soon, in the next few weeks, much sooner than you think, you will be able to connect and become part of the universal community through the structure we set up. And in a way is a structure which you're already familiar with, but now we make it as part of the international structure of the Keshe Foundation. We are trying in the background to process that anyone who will want to become part of the operation of the coins around the world, you need to register with the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria. You go, this will tell you exactly when it's done in the next few days. Everyone who wants to be part of the usage of the coin will register with the Keshe coin. So your knowledge seekers are the first group that will receive your coins. Maybe a few hundred, a few thousand, tens of thousands gradually, that we test with you to find what it is. We are not giving it to the others we don't know. If you have registered with the Keshe Foundation in the next few coming days and weeks, we ask you to go back, fill in the registration, and that automatically gives you the 1,000 coin. Then you have to structure it to go back to the game and go to the coin and submit the reference, or just get connected in the background. They're working on it. We know more in the next few days that those who register for the Keshe Foundation Association or Keshe structure of the foundations will automatically are qualified to receive the first 1,000 coins. So the first coins will be distributed in a very short time, in the next few weeks and months. And those people who get the first batch that you can test, you can shop, you can do things with it, will be tested by you. So many of you have already registered with the the association. You have to go back when we tell you, register, and they connect the codes. That becomes your universal code. Anywhere on the planet Earth, that's your passport number. That's your ID. And In that process, we gradually release the first 1,000 coins per person. We are putting limitations on how much coin you can call upon. You can't get the 1,000 coin and sell it tomorrow. The 1,000 coin has to last you 1,000 years. When you live through the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, you understand what it is. Even that is 1 coin per year. It has a lot of surpluses. You understand that's how it comes. But initially, we limit the number of coins out of your 1,000 coin you can call upon. Which means you give a birth to a child, you register that day with us, automatically 1,000 coin gets allocated. You can call upon maybe 10 coins. You want to buy furniture, you want to buy clothing. In Keshe Foundations, we structure it. We have to structure this as the other processes that you can convert it into coin currency in your area. If you live with rubles, you get rubles. If you live in, God knows, another part of the world, euros, Chinese yuan, you can convert Chinese yuan. This takes us another 6 months to 12 months to complete, hopefully. But in a way, you can shop within the Keshe Foundation China with all the products which start coming out. We accept our own coins back. You can ask to replace it with gold, which we will produce when it's available, and you can sell the gold. We ship gold to you according to your coin. So we collect your coins back. It becomes part of the reserves of the Keshe Foundation structure, and it becomes part of your life. So please wait for a few days till we announce, and then go to the Keshe Foundation Association website or register there. You get your universal code, and that universal code gives you access to go into the Keshe coin games, what we call conversion, and pick up your coins. You don't pick it up from association. You just register, and you have to renew your association regularly once a year, that you're still alive. Nobody else can use your coin. And if something happens to you, we will hold the balance. There's a limitation in what we let go of the coins, because in a way we have to look after you to get used to it. Of the 1,000 coins, you are a university student, we allow you more because you have to pay for fees. You inform us you're sick, you need to pay for doctors, and it can be done through the process. With all these things will be set up gradually, that Keshe coin becomes a currency. The central bank, which is a Keshe coin headquarters, will exchange with your governments, exchange with your hospitals, will exchange with everything else, that our coins stand on the back of our technology. The material we produce and the stock market shares in 2 nations, and most probably in the next 2 to 3 years in 3 nations. So you have to just wait. But when we tell you, go back to the association, register, get your code, everything has to be, it's your passport. If it doesn't match, you will not get anything. And it has to match in all directions. And sooner or later, we connect this to the government, which means you actually exist. Universal code will connect to your national codes. We give money to your government. The government has to confirm that you exist. Don't forget, that every 1,000 coin allocated to you, your government gets 100 coin, which gets 100,000 you worth to your nation. So they are very precise who exists and you exist. And everything will be fully monitored in the next year, 2 years. We are putting a lot of effort in the coming time in doing that. And this morning I made a call to one of the major governments around the world, which are very big supporters of us, to provide us with computer scientists from national securities. Because we see the scale of what is coming and how we could be vulnerable. And this is one of the reasons ONN keeps on getting delayed, because when we offered it to you, it was a normal computer system, and in the process of completing, AI literally wipes it out and causes all sorts of problems. So all the systems had to be brought in. We are not the only organization. The whole world is in the same dilemma. And so please be ready to register for your coins. And in the structure of the coins, once we set it up, most probably next year, 2 years, we allow the emergencies, which means if you run into problem, you need more cash coins, you settle it and you use part of your reserve. And these kind of things will be done as we grow. But you need to register with the Keshe Foundation Association to be able to get a number that you can go to the cash coin and use that universal code number to release your funds or your coins. And we'll see how the things take shape and we move to the next step of development. This week, we have allocated 2 more rooms of the research center to 2 scientists. So now 7, I think, is fulfilled. So out of everything you sent, we have a look. We are still looking for a space scientist, communication, computers, medical doctors, people with the experience in sales. We desperately need, if you have sales experience. We're putting the team. This is our, what do you call it, one of our weakest point. Hopefully we found the right person for purchasing department. Very capable woman. And then we need people in agriculture, deep agriculture, farming and animal husbandry, environmental protection, everything. Next week, Keshe Foundation will put up a list on Keshe Foundation website. List of people we need for research and development is the list of them. We open our list to the governments now, like the key. Next week we put on the Keshe Foundation website. You want to see what we're looking for, go into that page. We have everything available for it. If you have it, we look for it. It's extensive. It directly comes from our site for the officials and the governments when they look what we're looking for in the governments, if they have scientists.
Okay, that completes our excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. And we get back to our presentation. I believe we have transmutation time as our next presentation here with Mashfaq.
Hello, everyone. So we are once again here, and as we know, we wish to transmute. So how does this wish become the transmutation? We do the wishes here, and we are beginning to see things happening in physicality. So there is a bit of delay. So the wish that's happening at the energetic level and the manifestation of the peace that we wish for is happening, but other parts need to be reorganized in order for that to be achieved. So from this wish, how does a wish go to that reality, the physical reality that we want to see expressed? So we have this saying that when you wish with your heart and soul. And that's a very profound statement. We glibly talk about it, but the essence of it is much deeper. We have to feel the wish, and the feeling of the wish is the interaction between heart and soul, or soul of man, and soul of physicality. And that emotion has to be present, or become, with the wish, becomes present. And that is also reflected in the things in physicality, both in emotion and in expression. How do we do it? I have made some attempts and had some success, so I'll give you an example. It's about eating. So we know that breath plays an interesting role in transferring energy directly from the universal energy, thereby fulfilling our need, energy need, or consequently the need for eating disappears. So I've been trying to do it for the last 2 years or so. And I had my wish that I want to do it. And I would say I'm reasonably successful. The thing that happens is that when we make the wish that we don't want to consume food, we have to have the feeling, that feeling that I talked about, the feeling between heart and soul, soul of physicality and soul of man. That has to, at the beginning, it's kind of faint. That's how my experience has been. It's not as strong, but as we wish more strongly, I would say, at a higher field strength, we can start to see the emotion more with clarity. It's not like, you dance and sing, kind of jumping in joy or something like that, but the clarity becomes more apparent. And then when that happens, the need for food starts to diminish. And it has reached a point for me that I don't feel hungry. I can eat, but I don't feel hungry. Because, I live in a society with family and friends, and it has to be done. But the hunger is not there. And if I feel a little bit, let's say, tired, I can do the transfer. That's kind of on demand transfer. And it's, it becomes fairly straightforward, and it's not that difficult work. But the feeling, let's say, the emotion, the metamorphosis, that might be the best word to see it, of the emotion is very distinct and definite. You can feel it. It's so clear and concrete that it's not. It's difficult to describe unless one goes through it. There is no word for it, but because we have words for our emotion of between soul of physicality and physicality, but we don't have words for it. But as I have talked about in the past too, One Nation, One Planet meeting, about the emotion reflecting on the physical side, that is part of that experience of feeling the emotion at the soul of man level. And this is also something that, again, hard to describe, but you can feel it. And that's something, you know, the only way to do it is, the only way to know is do it. And in doing it, there is something, another thing that becomes apparent, and this is being talked about now in our workshops, is the aspect of breathing. So I did not focus on breathing at all during the whole process. But I mean, after the topic of breathing has come up, I actually am starting to notice that actually my breathing changes when that wish, when I have those feelings coming in. It's very clear. It's a very distinct difference in breathing. There is not some specific technique that I heard or meditated upon or came up with. It just happened naturally. It's an interesting thing is that the feeling, emotion, and wish resulted in this breathing condition, which I did not plan or think about or any of these things consciously. But now that, as an afterthought, as it is happening, I can see the breathing change, the change of breathing. It's very subtle and distinct, but it is there. So this is something, another marker that we can use in order to detach from what we call the eating. And another aspect of eating, which I have mentioned earlier, but I will just add it for the sake of completeness, is that at the beginning I was actually connecting with the enhancement unit while doing this wish to not eat. But after a few times, I realized that I don't have to go through this intermediary, which is plasma technology, but the connection to the universal energy is available to all of us. So yes, the technology can work as an amplifier or intermediary step, but once our hearing ability or our abilities are sufficiently present, we don't need to go through such intermediaries. So there is after that, I kind of started doing it directly. Only a few times I did. But, you know, it was kind of like automatically, it triggered in me automatically that, well, I can do it directly, so why bother? So anyway, so this is the experience of wish to not eat. Well, I'm also doing it with transmutation part. Yes, things have improved, but still some ways to go. So hopefully this experience help people to see the application or the use. And this is my own experience. Of course, it will vary from person to person, and they will make it their own unique and beautiful way. But some hints may help those who want to not eat or want to transmute, either way. With that wish, without wish, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much. Any questions, any comments are welcome.
Thank you, Mosfeq. It's Dean here. Mosfeq, so I've had some experiences a little bit like this myself, where for some time now I've really I eat I do eat, and still enjoy it. But I don't need to. There are times where I'm finding I just don't need these, certainly not 3 meals a day. And it is, the interactions are very much when it's a social gathering, or whether it's an interaction that is it's just a normal thing. However, I have noticed my feelings, my body doesn't need this food substance. It very much is an emotion attached to having done it for a very long time. But the actual feeling of feeling I don't need to to eat so much is definitely there. I've been feeling this quite a lot, and I've been through, like you have. I've connected with the systems, and I've been in some of the systems, and through some of the sessions and things. And it definitely does have an effect, and the energies within you definitely are different. It may be a very slow process, but there's definitely, when I look back, going back to when, before I had these experiences, it's definitely something that is present within my, within my experiences right now. That's for sure. That's for sure. So I think it's a slow process, but it's very much an ongoing process. How do you get through it then, Mosfeq, when you are in a social gathering and it's expected of you, but you don't need to? How do you get around that?
I I eat, and when I'm with people, I eat, but I can eat as much as I want. Actually, I can eat more than I used to be able to. Actually, it's an interesting situation, but it's like a kind of like take it or leave it kind of situation. I'm not attached to food. Actually, I'm a fairly good cook, so I really enjoy the taste and experience of food and cooking food, making food, and I even when I'm with my friends, if I cook, I usually employ them as my assistant. So I still do this kind of things, but at the same time, it's kind of like the enjoyment of it that's more important than how I'm enjoying it, whether it's this food or that food. And so this is in a way, it's an experience of detachment. In a sense, I do it, but I'm not attached to it. Can I live without food? I haven't done extended period of things. I mean, I usually don't eat anything one day at all. The following day I eat, my family, and then every other day I eat. But I don't get hungry at all, even on the days I'm eating or not eating. So it's I don't need it, but I can do it. Most of the people I know, they eat. So the part is that's not that difficult for me now. But sometimes family members say that you have to eat, kind of like, and I simply say I don't, because I don't get hungry. So I'm being very calm and relaxed about it, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. Now I'm 100% certain, because I don't get hungry. When I don't eat, the day I don't eat, or even the day I eat, I don't eat because I'm hungry. I just eat because I'm with some people.
I
It's a
think
very
I've had the
different.
same experience, Mosfeq. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. Very similar. It's you. No, and at the moment now, I will probably go and eat something after this. I haven't said all this. However, I know that over a period of time, I can sense that it has changed. There's a structural change, an interaction that's taken place, where you don't need, certainly don't need as much, and you need a lot less, and the meals are very, it's one main meal and a very small something, else. And even that's not always required. And I certainly don't eat anything very, very rarely first thing in the mornings. It's just, I don't think it really matters when you consume it, but it's that sort of thing that's happening. So it's a gradual process, and it is very much, I recognize it. It's still emotionally triggered, where you will, something's happened in the day, or some things you've read something or experienced something, someone said something, and then that triggers something, and then you might, need to eat, or you may not need to eat. It really depends on the emotion, and it's definitely it's there constantly, and I think it would be very easy to receive the energies, the full energy spectrum that you require through these systems, having experienced it. I think it wouldn't be very difficult to receive a lot of energies. And for many people, this would be, why would you want to do that? We love food. It's such a big social event that many people would not want, that really would not want to not eat. And I've come across it with many people that say this. It's a part of being present in a physical form, and they enjoy food, really relish food. So trying to establish this connection with many people, many souls present on Earth, I think might be a very long process, because many will just look at you as if you're crazy and say, well, I'm not interested in that. Why would I be? So we need to understand that. That's for sure, I think, Mosfeq.
One of the things I think is what the ONN, or the atmospheric change that Mr. Keshe has talked about, providing the energy, that I think in the end will wean off not just humans, but other animals and life forms on the planet, because the energy is available, and gradually they notice, yes, it is available. Why do we need to do it? So it will happen. That's the accelerator I'm thinking of. I don't think we're going to talk about it. It will be more soul level transmission than anything. And that kind of field, making that kind of field available through the atmospheric condition, or ONN type of structure, where the fields get arranged such that the energy is constantly available, and people slowly become aware of this energy availability, and we become independent of it. Some of us are, a little more weird and adventurous, and we are trying these things. But, this will also give people a clue that, well, it's not just happening out of nowhere. There is a concrete process, and people are transmitting through soul level like we are. And as well as, there are some technologies being engaged to make this whole process accelerate. So how I feel about it. It will be faster than we can imagine, because of what's being done by Keshe Foundation.
Yeah, Mosfeq. So I've noticed as well that I know we don't want to talk. I'm not talking about medical things, but there is sometimes if you don't eat, sometimes your body lacks something, and you do require that. So the technology will need to replace those nutrients or whatever it is that you require. And I know the technology can do this, but however, in this transitional period, these transitional moments, there are times when if I don't, I can feel like, I need to eat something. There's still that now and again. So it is definitely a transmutation of, something that's going to take some time, I think, and it's a gradual process. And I think if you sped it up too quickly, if you do it too intently, for some, it might be not a good thing. It would need to be a slow process, And unless I'm sure Mr. Keshe has the technology and the ability to just switch it on and everybody can receive exactly what they need. However, I'm sure he won't do that because it's as I said, a staged, slow process. I think that's a step that many of us will receive these energies through, unless you are, really intently going after this and focusing your attention to not eat and connecting with the reactors and all the technologies. Then if you are that focused, then you'll go through the process quicker. But it really depends on your emotions, the establishment you've got with the connection socially with people around you, and it depends on your position, like many things do. How do you feel about that, Mosfet?
Well, it took me 2 years. So, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't call that fast, definitely. But I have other experience, like, as you're saying, changing regeneration of certain part of the body, that I have tested and, it works. There are some I wasn't able to do, but there are some I'm very sure, and it has happened. I won't talk about these things too much, but, these are, I mean, if I were to go back 5 years, I would say this is impossible 5 years back. But I have proven to myself that it is possible. And, when I was in the meeting in London, I talked a little bit about some of these things. But yes, a lot is possible, but still, I mean, it's not that, it's hard. It's, there is the conditioning that it can't be done that is holding us up. Once we kind of cross that wall of conditioning, or whatever the concept that we've been told, then we can, okay. And that is really the main slowing down. That's why we need time. The wall of conditioning has to come down. And, we are doing through soul level and other, even the teachings that we do in Keshe Foundation, and Mr. Keshe is doing his workshop, which is helping a lot. So yes, I think things will be faster, and the technology assistance will further accelerate the process. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, MOSFET, but what you spoke about earlier is I think for me is a bit fascinating is the fact, or the animals, our vertical friends and horizontal friends, the animals and plants and things. How are they going to react within these environments? Because it's instinctual. They're not they're not going to go through a thought process like we are. They just feel it, and they need to eat.
They're lucky. They're lucky that they're not going through the thought process.
It'll be interesting.
Maybe the animals will get to have an old life and enjoy their old age instead of being cut down in their prime to become food for humans. If the humans no longer intend to eat the animals, then the chickens will get older, the cows will get older, and they'll have a happy life in the pasture, and instead of being cut down in their prime, in a way. Prime literally in the case of beef.
I'll give you an interesting example. We have a mango tree in our yard, and and so it gave a lot of mangoes. So, and we were, the mangoes were being picked, and since they're getting ripe, we got about 700 mangoes, and then there are still some kind of like in the corners up in the small branches, which are difficult to reach even with sticks and stuff, various tools that they've made. But then, I said, well, there are still a few that are left on the tree. I said, let's leave it there. Do we need to get all of these? And the tree benefits having the fruits on the tree, and then in time it will fall out. They will fall off. But these are something that we have to get used to. not get too greedy about, that we have to eat all the mangoes. I said, no, let's leave some. This is what I was suggesting it to everybody. They were not happy, but but they agreed because they all know my weird behavior. So, so anyway, so things will happen. The fruits will remain in the trees and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
And the attitudes are changing as far as science, biology, and medical these days as well. They're actually doing scientific testing on fasting. Like they've discovered that being without food for 24 hours, just 24 hours, activates the generation of stem cells within the body. And these stem cells have the ability to go to any, to repair any organ of the body and to do, the functions of almost anything in the body when needed. So it starts at 24 hours and continues increasing for the next couple of days as well. And this generation of stem cells has gotten the scientists and biologists interested, and also the medical profession, who is now accepting being without food as a treatment, as opposed to all the other additives and things they want to give you when you have a particular ailment. So
you mean
less is better?
That's just what I was going to say. Less is more beneficial, Rick.
Yes,
that's exactly what I was just going to say.
And perhaps
and this is coming from an American. Imagine this: less is better. An American saying less is better. How is that possible?
The question that I for you, Bob.
And this is why it makes it so hard for Americans to accept as well, because if you look at the obesity problem in not just America, but in all the developed, well, almost all countries of the world, not just developed countries, but especially developed countries, when people have money, they spend it on, more meat and more, all the exotic foods and treats and whatnot, and put on weight. And that's part of the issue. And it's not the physicality so much as that desire. The desire keeps increasing, especially when the foods feed the desires. They're designed technically to increase your desire, not to satisfy it, because they want you to eat more and more of it. So you start eating ice cream and all of a sudden the whole tub is gone, sort of thing. And that desire, I think, is what's changing on the planet. People are more tying in more with their soul, who might not have that attachment for food as such as the physicality does. And as we detach from those attachments, that's where the beauty lies, in connecting closer with our soul, with our essence, and allow that to do the take over the driver's seat in our running our machinery. So I think that's what transmutation time is all about, in a way, is people connecting with their essence, with their soul. And more of that is happening on the planet. You can kind of sense it and see it even in the things happening.
So Rick, connecting to these systems, and so if you you don't eat for 24 hours, 48 hours, or whatever, and then you start interacting, do you think that you will get a more substantial interaction with these new systems that are coming out? Do you think that will establish a even bigger connection, and then there's a like a leapfrogging process of
it's not about connecting to the systems, it's about connecting to yourself. The systems are only there to help facilitate and remind you of that connection. It's up to you to make the connection, and it's not the connection to the machinery, it's the connection to yourself, to your own deep essence, which is the same essence as all the other essences of the universe. All the other souls have the same soul. And if you connect to that same soul, to that one soul, then that's the job of the machinery has been done in many ways. And you have that direct connection. You cut out the middleman. Machinery is just the middleman to help you. You don't want a middleman. You don't want a messiah to be your middleman. You don't want a ayatollah or a priest or anyone else to be your middleman. This is the way of the future, is the direct connection. And through that direct connection, you have all the connections with others and with the machinery and with all the other stuff at will, basically.
Rick, but it's not just food is one addiction. We have many addictions, so it's that part of it as well. Everything is an addiction, basically. So
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
it
about as far as that machinery and all that connection.
exactly.
But the food is a really big one and a great experiment to do. For example, the first time I did 10 days of fasting, it was after 10 days I had the greatest energy of my entire life, basically. I felt so energetic. I was out jogging when I don't normally run, and I was doing laps of the pool, Olympic pool, like 10 laps, no problem, where 2 laps before I was totally exhausted. I repaired my stomach ulcer that was, they wanted to operate on me at the time, and all of this within a few days of fasting. And after 10 days, it was just enormous energy available to me. And I made a mistake after 10 days. It was Thanksgiving, and I had a big Thanksgiving dinner with my friends, and I felt like I needed to share with friends and partake in the food. And I ended my fast with meat and potatoes, kind of heavy meal, salad, and the whole works. But I overdid it, and I felt during that time my energy level decrease and kind of just lower down to the what we call the normal level. And to me, it was like a huge decrease in my energy, even though it was considered, I considered it normal. You feel full, you feel like you have less energy. And the next day I felt, it wasn't quite as perky as I was during the time of fasting. And I realized that because we have to realize that probably 80% of that energy of the food is spent by the body processing the food. And you only get about 20% or probably less of the actual energy value of the food back to you as energy, if that. And so a lot of the exercise of eating is just to maintain the exercise of eating.
Yeah.
When you stop, you wonder, you kind of wonder what about all that. And it's the hardest part is dealing with reactions of others who think that you might be ill because you're not eating food. And it's usually only when we're sick that we don't eat food. And that's a pretty good indication of how you get well. It's any animal knows when they don't feel well not to eat, and through not eating is a natural process, and that's called fasting, and that's what makes you better. So animals recognize that, but humans usually, well, they'll continue eating, or they'll add some other things to their pharmaceutical drugs and whatnot to their diet, and trying to fix what all the eating is causing. So it's a big deal, and it's something that's not new to the planet. This idea of fasting is goes back many, many thousands of years, and it's always been used for both spiritual and physical rejuvenation. And I think it's works on both sides. Strangely enough,
but one thing I will say is that we've seen, I mean, many people have seen images of people that have been in situations, war zones and things that have had famine and stuff. And you see all these horrific images of people. So that's a fear that is placed through just an image into the very field psyche of the brain. And that interaction creates. And so many people think would not be possible. And that's the sort of indoctrination that that has been present on the planet for a long time. So these new technologies that are coming forward have to literally break through some very old conditioning with it's a gradual process, and it needs great explanation like you've just done, Rick, that will help many people to understand some truths about the possibilities of and how you get to the next levels. So very
yes, Mr. Keshe has been good at explaining how that kind of works in the body and whatnot. He talks a lot about the interstitial fluid, what he calls the lymph of the body, and they are basically interchangeable words. He talks about not the lymph nodes of the body, but the lymph fluid of the body, which is that interstitial fluid that runs between all the organs and cells of the body and provides both the nutrients and the septic system for the body. And that's what gets activated and purified and cleaned out during the fasting process. All the debris gets cleared out of the cells of the body, and that the cellular level is where that energy is generated and can start to be pulled in from the universe rather than from the cosmic rays, literally, rather than the conversion to hydrogen through the food process. You work on the hydrogens directly, cut out the middleman, cut out the food, go direct. There's people that are breatharians. They've been known to be about for many decades and centuries and whatnot. And it's gurus have done it in the past, and we've heard stories of those that go without. And there's people on the internet and various TikToks and other places that show how they go without food and do dry fasting where there's no food or water for a week or 2 or 3 at a time.
I know some that interact this way and don't need to. They choose to. I know some that have gone for 2 or 3 years and then suddenly gone back to it because of just the social interactions and the emotions of the others.
And you're so
interesting.
right about the conditioning that we're under, and it's very hard to break. And I was totally desperate when I first fasted. They wanted to cut me open, the doctors, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go to an alternative doctor, and we agreed that was the best thing for me to do, and I decided to take a chance, and it saved my life, literally, and has many times since when I've fasted again. And I'm a big believer in that process of going without in order to get what you need. It sounds counterintuitive, and perhaps it is, but you can learn to. The process I use maple syrup, lemon juice, and cayenne pepper is something that you survive on during that time. So it cheats in a little way because you do have additional things that it's not solid food, but it is a drink that you use to help flush out and keep you going. And that's the magic there that helps in many ways to get over the hump of dealing without food. But anyway, that's a whole topic for another time.
We need to make a wish.
Speaking of time,
Rick, we need to make a wish that the sciences or whatever can catch up to the technology and bring this forward so that it benefits many, many beautiful souls.
Can I just add something to what you said, if you have time? I think we are in a culture who wants us to be away from spirituality, from ourselves, and take medication and consume food, sugar, everything. Because everything you see says you want to be this, eat this. You want to be this, drink this. Everything is just consume this. Nobody says stop. Stop doing all that. Just go into yourself and fast. I don't know how much I'm in fasting for 3 days from Thursday. I remember Mr. Keshe said, think about the 80% is from the universe. So you think about that. The first 4 hours when you have to eat is a bit, you feel annoyed and bored. But just think that you can do whatever you like during this time. And also during the time of eating. And also during the time that your stomach is full, you cannot move, etc. And also when we eat food which is rich in sugar or starch, it makes us feel hungry. That there is, it's just science, the last science. I mean, I read everywhere, it has to do with insulin resistance. So when you eat sugar, it goes, and your insulin is high, you are hungry. I mean, really hungry. If you don't eat, you just get crazy. So the only thing is nothing with sugar, with starch or fruits, excessive. And then also thinking about nothing happens to me. I find somehow, some way, taking it from the outside me. And then there is something that when you eat, don't eat. Now I do it 18 hours. So when you do it for 18 hours, just drink and things like that, but not something sugary or something which is exciting the hunger to come, like even the bouillon. So when you don't eat for a time, the body, autophagy it's called, the body, the cellule uses the broken or the not useful parts in the cell, and it eats that. It's called autophagy. So autophagy is created by fasting. The body cleans itself. And so you say, okay, if I'm hungry and I'm tired, I lie down. So I have to have time to. So after 18 hours, you are not even hungry. That's the good thing about it. You just, so when you eat, you are very conscious of what you're eating. And then you see there's some kind of, as you said, you like to do more exercises, you like to do more organized about the hours. That's what I'm feeling these days. I don't know how many days I can, maybe I have to talk to a specialist to say how long I can do it. But as long as it goes, today I couldn't keep it because I had to do something. I tasted it and then I ate it at 10 o'clock. So today, but it's okay. Because now I know that if I don't eat 18 hours, I can make it and I have more energy. So kind of I see like something is changing in my attitude. Life is more easy. because I'm more a master of my life. So I know there are those who do it 20 hours, 24 hours. But as you said, it has been in religion also. For example, I think Elizabeth, when she wanted to have child, I think God says you just do fasting for 3 days, or you do fasting of talking for 3 days, or things like that. Or the Muslims have 30 days of fasting. And these 30 days, this last one, they were in war. They were in war. They had never seen really war like that because they're very pacifist, not killing, things like that. And during these times, when they had nothing else to defend themselves, they came to the streets that there are some bad people who could come to the streets from frontier and create killings, like 2-3 months ago. So they occupied the streets and the squares. And now something amazing has happened. Not only they could have a victory about this last war, about anybody around them, with many 7, 8, 9 countries against one, but also they are continuing to do that 103 days. And they come, and it has become a direct democracy. They come with their pancards, with their things written on the paper. And then the parliament members or anybody comes, see this, that's what people want, and they answer it, and they go and do it. So it's exactly, they have created during this month of fasting, with all that pressure, they were out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So there has been a transformation in their history. So they could go from inside, find the force to get outside, stay, even though they were fasting. So now they have the direct democracy. They come to the street with what they want, and somebody comes, answer, they take care of it. So that's kind of a miracle, but it's because during the month of Ramadan, fasting month, they were under attacks. And so they're so courageous. Sometimes we see video, they are bombarding somewhere. They see it in the sky or on the fires, and they are here and chanting and praying. So I think that transformed these people. I just wonder how they are. So they could go there and find some force, some inner force that could change their destiny up to now. Future, I don't know. So fasting is really, I'm doing it now, knowing that I have 80% comes from outside, you know? So I'm sure nothing happened. And honestly, as Rick said, like walking and organizing, I feel very good. And I drink even more because the stomach is empty, everybody, the body is resting. So it's an autophagy which continues all over. So I recommend it if you can medically do it. Don't worry, nothing happens. But it has to be gradually, you know. I was doing it before, but I couldn't. So I just needed that attitude of 80%. And so it's good for the mind, for the soul, for the body. Thank you.
Excellent testimonial there, directly personal, Marinez. And interesting how you said how it affects the population, and you know you can have an elevated mood when you're fasting, and it can help overcome almost any obstacle. Very good. You might even find yourself cleaning your house all of a sudden, because that's what's happening inside at the same time. It's house cleaning time.
May I just quickly add one more thing to this? So it would be interesting for to see what the nations, their diet is, what they actually consume in their local environments that creates certain conditions. So, you know, the peaceful ones, what are they eating? And the ones that are very aggressive, what are they eating? Where are they getting, what's causing these conditions? It may be an interesting thing to look into. Thank you, Rick. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
You see, Dean, you showed how we live. The people that we have access to food all the time. We see what they ate, what they did, you know. But the thing is to stop it and go inside and look for something new, you know. Not to eat, not to drink, not to think of what to eat.
It's a big emotion, Marinez. It's a big emotion for many.
And to find in our body, which is the same for everybody in the whole world, magnetic gravity and fields and things like that. And these fields need cleaning up, like Masike said about the lamp or autophagy, you know, we need to clean it from inside. And probably you see the poor people, they don't have cancer as much as the rich people because they eat what they like. But those people, for hours, they might not have something to eat. So their body is more, I don't know, some people say, no, they die or whatever. But people who don't feel themselves up to what they like is normally more healthy if we can get to used to it little by little, you know, just abstaining to consume.
Thank you, Marinus. Interesting conversation, but we need to kind of wrap things up here. I suggest that we could take this to the Keshe Plasma Reactor group if people are interested in learning more about the concept. We've talked quite a bit about such things as the fasting and interstitial fluid and Mr. Keshe's directions on such things. And it's a good place to get into some of the more technical aspects of those topics. And that'll be happening tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. But for now, we have to carry on here because we're getting on in time. I suggest we go to our needs and wishes, and except for I would like to open up the ability for attendees here who may have had a question or comment, and we've opened their microphones, but we haven't given them an opportunity to talk among all the interesting things that we've had, topics that have come up here, and it's great, hearing from the members and support members of the Universal Council of their personal experiences and so on. It's just terrific to hear all that today and appreciate that. But I'm just take a quick interval here before we begin our needs and wishes and see if there's any needs and wishes from our attendees. If there are, you can open your microphone, which is available to open at this time if you wish. Okay, I don't see any opening, so let's carry on with our needs and wishes and complete our program here.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. Needs and wishes, beautiful soul. We, the Universal Council, give from our soul to the Colombian citizens, which is holding its presidential election on June 21, to elevate their souls so that they may choose a life of peace while respecting their vital rights. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Hi.
Okay, Giovanni, you have something you want to say. Please go ahead.
I just want to say, for my wishes, I wish what happened in the world, peace everywhere, the raise of the soul of those who have the power to help all the nation, because the situation that we have found it, more that situation giving that living come difficult anyway. For my wish to raise the soul of all the government, to raise the soul of all the persons who have the power to understand that people are in a needed for the peace. So to have new way to believe in a good situation. That is my wish. The reason of the soul of everyone to stop what is not good, because this world is going the way which is not good. So to hear the voice, that is my wish. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you, Mike.
Giovanni. Maybe we can have
We are present.
30 seconds of silence for initiation of that wish. Okay, we can go on to our next wish now.
We, the
We,
Universal
oh,
Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. And our wish is our command, and we are present.
we, the Universal Council. Okay, well,
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul collectively to protect all the world and Iran from all evil. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
we, the Universal Council, give from our soul for the protection of those living with fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wishes to help cover all the emotional and physical needs. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul, the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed, with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect
the lives,
the lives of all the population, because is it okay? This is what
because they are sovereign and free.
This light causes me problem for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little hard to see those letters, and this is something. It's almost comical the way we go through this little procedure, but folks at home need to understand that your screen doesn't allow you to see the words so well. It's not that you're tripping over the English.
Well, that too. But anyway.
Okay, next we move. Oh, got another one added that I haven't seen on our schedule. So,
would anyone like to read this wish if you have a microphone?
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. And our wish is our command, and we are present.
We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now. Our wish is our command. We are present.
okay, that brings us to the end of our program today, other than the slide, which I think Shweta will probably say.
Thank you. We are here to serve, not to be served. And this is the time, dear beautiful souls. And I welcome, welcome, welcome again into the beauty and totality, the beautiful energy of one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, welcome, Suswagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, 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 Suswagatam into the beautiful energy of all souls in existence, as we are all universal souls, universal love. Thank you so, so much. Gratitude from the core of my heart and soul for being here always. Thank you so, so much. Salam, namaste, salute, the Universal Council.
All right. Well, thank you to Shweta and, of course, all the members and support members of the Universal Council for being here today and presenting a lovely program. Lots of great information and good feelings for today's program. Thank you all. And thank you everyone for being here to experience today's 435th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. Our next public teaching workshop will be, as mentioned, the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will start at 7 a.m. on Central European Summer Time on Wednesday, June 17th, that's tomorrow. And we welcome members of the public or experienced knowledge seekers to bring forward any things they would like to discuss or show for their experiments and other things to be talked about. It's a good general purpose place to investigate the plasma technologies. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, the 18th. And we look forward to the 647th version of the Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Mr. Keshe at that time at 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, I think that's it for announcements for now. So again, thanks everyone for being here.
An announcement is here. Clap, clap, and dance, you beautiful souls.
One
Clap,
final
clap.
thing to share. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you so much,
For
beautiful souls.
for
Clap,
your,
clap, and dance.
for your enthusiastic announcement of our flight enhancement spaceship unit music version that we like to play on our to end our programs on a higher note. And again, thanks everyone for being here, and bye for now.